we're ready to move on to our first keynote given by Oscar van Veen. Please join me on stage. Oscar is the Director of Innovation of the Port of Rotterdam, and I hope you will elaborate much more on the intersection and the port ecosystem and the safety and the tech partners. We're a little bit back on time, so please try
I'll hurry.
15 minutes.
Okay, let's do that. Back. Yeah. So thanks for being here. As they say, Droomport, because I think it's a great opportunity to talk together about the future port and the waterway to get there, how we envision it as a port of Rotterdam. And first, we have to make a distinction about Port of Rotterdam, the company, and Port of Rotterdam, the port with all the companies. So Vivienne and I, and Niels is going to talk later on, we're working for the Port of Rotterdam organization. And we have the great honor to do two things. We do the smooth handling of the water movements every day. And we have the responsibility to develop the port of the future. And that's a big responsibility, but also a real nice responsibility. And we're going to talk about that, like how we do it. So we're in that building over there, the Port of Rotterdam. And unfortunately, the curtains closed because there was such a nice view on the port here. It's really great. And I never saw it, but maybe afterwards we can open them again and you can see the lovely port. Okay, so a few years ago, we made the pivot from biggest port to the smartest port. And we're still the biggest port of the Western Hemisphere. But the smartest port, and Vivienne and Sven already touched upon it, we think is a super sustainable, a super efficient, and a super safe port. So we named that in our purpose, connecting the world, building tomorrow's sustainable port. But at the same time, and it was mentioned already, as a port city of Rotterdam, we're facing a lot of big transitions. You have the energy transition, the digital transition, the raw material transition, and now with all the geopolitical forces that are going on, we also have the safety transition. And that reflects on the other transition as well. So, for instance, when you want to do AI and the big calculation of the big computers, you cannot do it when you want to do calculations or algorithms on your mission critical infrastructure. Don't do it in the Amazon cloud, but maybe we should arrange some power on the European soil. So big transitions, and what those transitions have in common that we never did it before. So how are we going to do it? And there's one solution, innovation. And of course, as a director of innovation, that's my answer to everything. But it's really true because we're not only talking about the incremental innovation, so every company in the port is innovating themselves, but I'm more talking about the Horizon 2 and 3 innovation. So as Sven and Vivienne touched upon it already, innovating together. So together with the governments, the municipality of Rotterdam, Zuid-Holland, Nederland, the European Commission, together with knowledge institutes, so where we are today with STC, together with commercial companies, together with the community itself. That's the only way that we can face all those transitions and that we can get through it. And we're already doing that. So here, just a quick insight on some digital innovation arenas that we're working on. On the transport layer, you see that we're working on connected and autonomous barges, on connected and autonomous ships, on drones, in the air. Arthur and Niels going to talk about it, but also in the water. So you have Drone Q here today, but also Marlon from Aquasmart. Also on the road, trucks, they all get autonomous. And before that, they will have to be connected and they have to talk to each other. And as a Port of Rotterdam, we have the responsibility to make that happen, but also see to it that there's a top-notch digital infrastructure underneath it. So we're working on 5G, not only the 5G for your telephone, but also that the big companies need. We're working on new ways of data security, quantum key distribution. I'm not going to go deep into that, but we also need to know everything about artificial intelligence. What will happen when the fleet management system of Scania trucks will talk to the porches of APM terminals, to the gates. Thanks. What will happen and what calculations can you make and what needs to be separated and which data can we connect to each other? So those are all arenas that we're working on. And this is for the physical transport, but also for the energy transport, we need the same digital infrastructure. And Mare is going to go into that and how we build innovative ecosystems on the energy transition. So a lot of things that we're doing, like Vivienne said, like you asked, all simultaneously. And somewhere in the future, they're going to be holistic and they'll click into each other. We don't know how. And that's why, especially for today, what we do know is how we're getting better in this multiple helix innovation step by step. And that's why I want to introduce the multiple helix innovation manifesto. It really should do at the bullshit bingo. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, I made up a few rules. Rule number 1, think big, act small. Yeah, so we have this big vision together, but don't make all those big plans. Just act together, small steps, because only with small steps you can get there. I once made this picture myself, and so the small boat can eventually move the big boat. That's why I put it in. I just like the picture. Rule number 2, not only talk, but act. Rule number 3, act together. It was already mentioned. And there's always, right after rule number 3, comes rule number 6. Who knows rule number 6? Benjamin Zender. Don't take yourself so seriously. Because innovating together is also fun. It's about discovering the future, make the future happen together. So it's fun. And having said that, we're not going to take each other seriously. So I want you all to stand up, do a bit of an energizer. And when we were young, we went on the schoolyard and we went like this doing an airplane. We're not going to do that, but when I'm old, I just want to have introduced one thing and not fly like a plane, but together let's fly like a drone. Fly like a drone, yeah. Okay, we can do that. Great, guys, great. I love it. So having said that, thank you. Back to Victoria. It's up to you again. Was it fast enough? It was amazing. Okay, great. Thanks.
Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
Questions? Comments? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was fun.